So she has her Carmen San Diego hat on this week. Clearly.
I know that's right.
But it's not like I've been looking. It's just
right.
It's just been happening. It's just
there.
that week. So.
Is this it, Dawon?
Right, exactly. It needs to be cockeyed. It needs to like lean to the side. There you go.
Oh my God! Come on, Carmen.
Yeah.
Right on demand, honey.
100%. That was.
Hey, community, it's Landon, and here's what's brewing today.
Damn, Sha Carri.
Show your ass, get arrested.
And ask your aunties. I found my friend's porn page. So get your cups ready for Minoritea Report. Hey, welcome to Minoritea Report. It's Auntie Kerel.
Auntie Dawon here.
And
hello.
Yes. Who's this voice? Who's this voice?
Hi.
Who said that?
Who said that?
It is Auntie Chocolate Martini here.
Oh, yes. Come on. She got the clavicle out, the shoulders out.
I give you all these titties. There's one of y'all listeners or viewers is going to appreciate these titties somehow. So
she said, I'm showing you my Hershey's Kisses
all
today.
That part. Auntie Henny is resting up today. She's not feeling as well, so we gotta, like on like The View, we got a guest of a fill in for today.
Right.
Auntie. So we appreciate you taking time to with us today, Landon. Thank you, boo.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And man, so community, last week we recorded early because like I was going on vacay, Jerrell's on vacay now and things like that. And what you know, that's when it seemed like all hell broke out last week. Like everything happened after we recorded. So it's just gonna be a hodgepodge of shit today because I don't even know which one to start with, quite honest. Well, let's start with Serena. Literally, the next day, we were like excited. We're like, okay, Serena might get this next Wimbledon. Yes. And she slips in the match and hurts herself.
Badly. Badly.
Gosh. Like, literally, I hadn't even gotten off the plane yet. And I saw the text coming in from Jerrell and Dawon, and I'm like, oh no.
Yep.
No. So like my heart's like broken from that. And then that same day, we find out Sha Carri ain't going to the Olympics because she was smoking weed. And then now even more has come out. So like, okay, let's backtrack first. So the first thing that pops off that comes out is Sha Carri is getting a 30-day suspension because she tested positive for marijuana in her system. And so that started a whole uproar and things like that. So let's talk about that part first. What were your initial thoughts when you saw that come across?
Do you want me to go?
Go.
Oh, okay. You go. Go, boo.
Confusion, because this is the first time that I've ever heard about something like this happening before the Olympics. So at first I was like, okay, I'm a little confused as to this process of this drug testing and then what that policy is. And then there was another development of how, okay, so she's not going to be on this particular team. She'll be on this other team because the suspension will be over. So it sounds confusing. And I think a lot of people are getting probably upset for the right reasons, but definitely because of that confusion for sure.
Yeah. What was your initial thought, Dawon?
My initial thought was, damn.
Right? Damn.
Florida Evans. Like, I just, here's, in my mind, here's the thing. She was getting so much attention, and rightfully so. And I understand the circumstances that she says, precipitated her self-medicating, right? Finding out that her mother, her biological mother passed away through a reporter, right? But the other part of me was just like, this is your whole not your whole future, but this could have been monumental for your future. She can recover from this. She can recover from this. And I think she got enough notoriety and a lot of people writing for her that, like the endorsement, because you do the Olympics for the endorsements because you don't make any money. That's what it boils down to. Yeah. So, if like some weed companies should be tapping her on the shoulder, but like, run with the ganja or something, like, get the commercials going. So like, part of me is just like, damn, she missed out on a great opportunity. She missed out on a great opportunity. Like monetarily. Also, yeah. But on the other side of it, it's like, she also, it's you have sympathy for somebody who's in that situation. Yeah. And I think, quite frankly, a lot of people are talking about the wrong thing. They're talking about like this suspension and whether or not she should be suspended. But the question really is, why is it that marijuana, which is not enhancing performance at all? Yeah.
It's like, shit, you want to sit your ass down.
Right. You hit that. You hit that Gorilla Glue. You're not leaving. You laying on the ground.
Like, so you ain't getting out the starting blocks. No time soon.
So in my mind, I'm just kind of like, with the amount of countries that have legalized, that drug, and just the stigma that's being lifted as a result of it, and knowing the medicinal effects of this particular drug. Yeah. Why aren't we challenging the law or the rule? Like, that's the conversation that I want us to be having.
And I did see AOC and there was another politician did write the Olympic Committee, like, why is this still a rule? Like, why are we like houseway kind of thing? And like, my initial thought was, damn, they always find a way to like to keep a black woman down. That's literally was my initial thought, was like, damn, here she is, like running like top 5, top 10 times ever. Yeah. Here she is, like, maybe not the stereotypical black person that you want her to be. Like, she's not this glossy white kind of black person that you want her to be.
No Candace Owens here.
That part.
Don't even get me started.
With the hair that don't move.
Right. She got the orange hair. She got the red hair. She got the yellow hair. She got the blue hair.
And the
lashes. The lashes that look like it hurt your eyelids. I mean,
the nails that are long.
You know. So I was like, damn, they found a way again. But then another part of me is like, it sucks because A, she found out her biological mom died from a person that she doesn't even know. That's a lot of trauma. Obviously, it sounds like she maybe not have had, or maybe it's kind of had gotten better, a relationship with her biological mother. So there's trauma even with that. Yep. There's a lot coming your way as it is gearing up to the Olympic trials. There's trauma in that. And so I get, unfortunately, trying to find a way to potentially self-medicate. And luckily, she only did weed. Like, there's a lot worse she could have done.
It really
is. She lived in a state where weed was legal.
That part.
So it wasn't like she was doing it illegally, because I could understand if she lived in a state where it wasn't permissible.
Right. And then maybe another side of me is like, but damn, you know the rules. And to be this close to the fucking Olympics, though.
Yeah.
Like, smoke that joint after you won the 100 at the Olympics.
Afterwards.
You know?
So wait.
That's the part. It's like, who's in your circle that handed you that joint? Were you doing it by yourself, or was there like a crew with you? Because you need a whole new crew, because they knew too. Like, I would believe, like, if I was landed with Dawon and Jerrell, and I was trying to self-cope, and they would probably be like, bitch, you know the Olympics coming up, right?
We will watch out for you, okay?
Exactly. Right. And so that's
I'll be the first one to raise my hand.
You'd be like, bitch, sit that shit down. and so that's the part that, like, upset me a little bit too. It's like, damn, because, like, all through the trials, they were talking about, Sha Carri here with her squad and her entourage. Who in your entourage didn't say, Sha Carri, hold on, you're it right now?
You know what? Even in the hoodiest of hood neighborhoods, when there is a kid that's promising,
yes,
like, drug dealers stay away from them. Like, people if if you ain't shit, then you ain't gonna be shit. But if you shit, like if you up there, you drawing, oh come on, baby, we're gonna let you make a mural for the church. We're gonna like they rally around those like the community, our community, the black community rallies around those kind of kids. So it's just like you raise a valid question. Who in the hell is around this, around her that has no regard for her future. Yes. And given the fact that she had this, this awful news given to her, and there's who knows all the stuff that unearthed for her, the abandonment, the wondering, all these kinds of things, it's understandable that she would, cope, that she would use some coping mechanism that's comforting for her. Yeah. But if you in that circle, you be like, look, you gonna have to, baby,
let's go get some Dairy Queen or something. Let's go get some ice cream.
Look, I'm taking a red marble slab.
Let's take a red lobster right now. But you want me to make you some grits? Right. You want me to make you some grits? Come on, baby.
But this isn't. And going back to what Kerel said just a few moments ago about they're always finding a way to just get another black person, because we got athleticism. And so this is not the first time because, and I cannot remember her name, but there's another athlete who had a 5-year ban because of some substances, right? Yeah. And they are continuing to uphold that ban. And it's like, you bitches really just don't want us here. You just don't want us there. And it also begs another question. There's another debate out there about should the black community boycott the Olympics because of lack of representation? But there are going to be black athletes. They may not be, we may not know their names and we may not necessarily know who they are, but we still need to support our people, even though we are rightfully in our feelings about how some of the people that we do know are being treated.
But then here's the next part of the Sha Carri story. Of course, they're gonna unearth some shit. And even as recent as March, she was saying homophobic things about Lil Nas X. She was saying things about if black men wear the color pink, put them in the pits because they're gay as fuck. And so they're unearthing these tweets that she's done, where for a second we thought maybe she was part of the community because she said her girlfriend picked her hair, but maybe it was like she met girlfriend like homegirl. I don't know. Yeah. So now it's just like, damn, Sha Carri, we was rooting for you. Had a Tyra moment. It's just like, so it's just like, it's just a lot in one literally failed swoop of like, we're rooting for you, but then now you have this other stuff that, at least as gay black men, offends part of us. It's like, we want you to do well as a black part of us, but then the gay part of us, like, hold on, girl, like you ain't gonna just be calling out our name like this. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel in this situation because it's just too much.
If I had $1 million and I'm gonna like trademark this under Minoriteea Report, so anybody that steals this idea,
that part,
here we go.
I'll go have to come to us first. Intellectual property, starting with Auntie Dawon and under the umbrella of Minoritea Report .llc.
Right. Exactly.
There needs to be some kind of like a social media grade, and to assess like their person's contributions. Like, for example, before we start rocking with somebody, we need to know what their grade is. Like on a scale of like 1 or 0 to 100, 100 being the best.
How problematic are you?
That's what I want to know.
That's problematic scale.
And we might be able to give a little bit of passing to people that have stuff that's like maybe 30 years ago, depending upon what it is. Right. But like there needs to be, I know they're doing something a little bit Black Mirror-ish in China. And I'm not saying going that far. But I'm just saying like I would love to see a social media score. Like how are they showing up?
Like the search be like, okay, did she say anything about gay? Did she say anything about Lil Nas X?
Like I would and I'm sure that's something that will come, but like y'all heard it here first. So,
and then we
so
need
when
to
I
make
come
sure
with my lawsuits,
that part, and we need to make sure there's representation on this board because it can't be all white people on this board. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Right. Because like, first of all, there was a business to be made out of this idea, because I mean, imagine with the capability to be able to dive into people's like, you know, public, not, you know, like friending people and seeing their private stuff, but their public stuff, like assessing their public persona. That would be really important.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be able to see, because we rock with some people well before we know what's what.
You're right.
What they are.
Especially in the Black community. We be like,
Right.
we gonna rock hard. But then, damn, Sha Carri, all these tweets started coming back out. I'm like, really? And it wasn't even like it was just like, it was like a habitual nature. Because like one was like from 5 years ago, one was from like 3 years ago, and then one was from March. I was like, damn, that's habitual.
That's recent.
Right. I was like,
this ain't Bill Cosby from the 1970s and 60s. No,
girl.
This is like.
And speaking of him, and then literally that same, I think, damn day, Bill Cosby released from damn jail. So I was sitting there, I was like, damn, we don't miss everything on this last episode.
Dawon, going back to what you said, I think we need to have a rubric, just like they have in college, about what we're correcting.
Rate my professor is like rate my Twitter.
Rate my social media.
Yes.
Where is the
I'm
rubric?
telling you, that's the idea. That's the idea. We need to make that shit happen.
Damn.
Google, Facebook, Twitter. Y'all can add us.
Help you flesh it out.
Look, Black men, gay men. So representation. This is a whole Black business. So y'all come on here. We'll sell you. We'll sell you the idea.
Come on now. Sure will. But then, okay, so Bill Cosby gets out. And so that's a whole thing. And then Phylicia Rashad tweets something, and that's a whole nother thing. Yeah. So start with Bill. What was your initial reaction to getting those news alerts saying Bill Cosby's getting out of jail today? And be careful, because you...
I was...
Because you know they be canceling bitches. Yeah.
I would... Here, first of all, the thing about me is I stand by whatever I say.
That part.
So
I said what I said.
You know,
I said what I said.
It's not to say that it might not be the right thing in the historical context, but at this time, with the information that I know,
that part,
I stand by it. Just like I did back before we knew all we knew about Jussie Smollett.
Honey, that part.
Yeah. So when the news broke, my initial reaction was, damn, y'all wait till after Corona to let his ass out? Like, if this was so called a miscarriage of justice, why y'all wait just to see
if he survived or not?
Right? Like, that's so evil. White people are evil, man. Like, let me just lock him up and see if he survives. And that nigga done got some. He done got some like anti-corona blood and sickle cell all in one.
Like, just a shield.
Right.
Damn.
I'm
so done with you.
And then you know, when he got out, he did he make them faces,
right.
So it's just like
sponsored by Jello pudding cups.
Right. I was gonna say he said, yeah, y'all should have been eating them pudding pops.
Girl, right? Oh my God.
What did you think, Landy?
I think about the fact, okay, people need to get educated about exactly why this happened. Yes, Bill Cosby did his shit. Unfortunately, he's not going to be getting any more pudding pops in prison. I mean, so in this,
he's not going
to be giving.
Well, giving. We don't know. Maybe verse life. Who knows?
Oh, not Mr. Huxtable, not Heathcliff Huxtable.
People need to understand about exactly why this happened. The prosecution fucked up, okay? Yes. The prosecution fucked up. And not to just go over the facts. Simpson. You bitches are steady just fucking shit up. I don't understand. And this is an ironclad case. And the really shitty part is that the statute of limitations is over. Yeah. So you can't even go back and try to find anybody. And it's like, Can you bitches do anything right in Pennsylvania, please?
Ooh.
I'm telling you, they were hoping he was gonna die.
That's exactly.
They
what
locked
they
his
were
ass
hoping.
up, and they was like, "We won't gotta worry about this."
And like I
And then
posted,
he's just sitting in there like Miss Seeley, sitting at jail, about
I'm
them
done.
right to death.
I'm done.
Now he out there, pass me them peas.
I'm so done with you, Dawon. Oh man, but like Mark Lamont Hill, I thought he nailed it. He said Bill Cosby is not innocent. He has not been exonerated. His release means that Cosby, a sexual predator, was incarcerated within a criminal legal system that has as little regard for its own rules and procedures as Cosby does for his victims.
Ooh.
And I was like, you know what? I couldn't have typed that no better, because literally it's the system that is fucked up. And like you said, the prosecution fucked up. Like, so literally he got charged in a way that he shouldn't have been able to get charged. Because
he shouldn't have been charged that.
Because at the end of the day, he's still a black man. So they're like, fuck this dude. Like, it is what it is.
Let's see if he survives.
But he's still rich enough and powerful enough to be like, oh, no, I shouldn't have been charged on that and get my ass out of here. And that's the difference between him and a lot of us, is that we don't have the coinage and the power still behind the scenes to still fight on our regard after we've been locked up wrongfully. Not to say that he could have been locked up. He needed to be, but for what he was being charged for in that case was wrongfully. And so that's kind of almost going to like the Phylicia Rashad thing, is what I think she was trying to tweet.
Trying to say,
But she just...
It don't come out like that on Twitter.
Twitter ain't the forum, boo boo.
It's not the way to do it. It's almost going back to the Sha Carri. Like, when you say something, you might be saying it in your head some certain way, and a way that I would say to you too. But when you put it out there on Twitter, bitches don't know you like that.
No. Don't know the context. You only have 150 characters. You should have wrote you a whole thesis, because they allow you to add more tweets now to it.
And what the hell is Phylicia Rashad doing sending out a tweet about him? I mean, really? A tweet?
Yeah.
I mean,
that ain't your ministry.
It should have been, if anything, it should have been a press release.
Exactly.
Even if she was, even though she has supported him, and she's recognized that, the impact that this has had on the victims or whatever. So she's kind of towed the line, like between her support for Bill as a person, the person that she knows, versus the behavior that these women have experienced, that etc. But you're gonna use a tweet.
She learned real fast though.
Your stuff is
they
gonna
got
get
her ass in them.
scrutinized.
They got her ass in those classes. I can't remember what they're called, but they she's the dean of fine arts. Fine arts. So now they have her in like remedial classes as it relates to like rape victims and
she need to go to social media classes too.
Like, what is you? Come on, girl. What is you doing on
your stuff is
Twitter.
going to get scrutinized. It's going to get scrutinized.
Yes, she thought she was Auntie Dionne Warwick.
No.
That ain't your ministry. Let Dionne do Dionne.
Look, you might be able to pull that you went to Baltimore on the show, but not on Twitter. Not in 2021.
No.
Because you wanted to have big fun.
I'm surprised nobody did that mashup social. Someone's got to do that mashup. Maybe that's another Minority Report intellectual property. You heard it first.
So wait, question. Kind of going along the Bill Cosby thing. I don't know if anybody has noticed out there, but there's only one network out there that's showing Cosby Show episodes, and that's TV1.
Yeah.
And I read an article about like, now that this has happened, should these networks? No, it doesn't mean that he's not guilty. That doesn't mean you go back and say, okay, so now can we show these? Because that does bring in a lot of money for those networks, but it doesn't make it right.
Here's what I saw a quote from D.L. Hughley, who is sometimes problematic, but he be spitting straight up facts. And somebody asked him in an interview, would you ever listen to R. Kelly music or watch an episode of The Cosby Show knowing what you know about them? And he goes, "Yup, I sure would. Just like I listen to the national anthem, knowing what America did to us."
You know
So
what? You know what?
I'm like, you know what? So
Church
like,
finger.
so
Let me
I
get
was
my
like,
church finger.
you know what? You got a point. You got a point.
Wow, that's a great response.
Now
Look
it's
at
not
that.
it's not a perfect analogy, because I think the difference between, you know, listening to the Star Spangled Banner, you know, versus, you know, like promoting, like watching a TV show or listening to music, is they monetize off of that. Nobody monetizes. So it's not a perfect analogy. So all y'all that's getting ready to, you know, Smithy, I'm talking to you.
Right. All of it.
You about to try to come at
Everybody.
us. We fully recognize it's not a perfect analogy, but at the end of the day, we turn a blind eye, like just within the Black community and within our own families. You know, we'll have that one cousin or uncle that's like, oh, you know, stay away from, you know, Uncle so-and-so, you know, he kind of funny, but he be sitting up there at every single family dinner, family cookout, family meal or whatever around all them kids. So it's just, so it's like, you know, don't act all holier than thou. If you want to, in my opinion, if you
want to watch a good ass episode of the Cosby Show, go watch a damn episode.
If you want to go to Baltimore, you know, to have big fun, then go to Baltimore. You know,
and I would hope that we're all, what's the word I want to use? I almost said grown enough, but that's probably not a good word. Mature enough and educated enough, hopefully, and obviously not everyone is, to be able to know that there's a separation in the, like, it's a character, but I think the hard thing is too, like, he may still be able to monetize from the show, and that's the hard part too. It's just like you're still able to put money in someone's pocket that's doing a lot of this. Luckily, Bill Cosby's 80-something. I don't think he was going to be a threat. Who knows? You never know. But someone even like an R. Kelly, literally up to the day he was put in the locked up, was holding women. Lockdown. Exactly.
Yeah, like, 2 chicks on lockdown.
And spitting on Gail, saying, Gail, I'm done with this shit. Robert.
It's killing me.
Robert. Yeah, so no, I agree. It's hard. It's just like a lot of times you nailed it. We justify what we want to justify in our lives. And like you said, this happens in a lot of families, happens in a lot in our community, that we're just like, you know what, Uncle Bob over there, Uncle Bill over there, you know, is that right? Not necessarily, but
I do feel like two things. One is a serious and one is a little petty. So
I'm all about it. You know, I love me some petty shit.
The serious thing is that I'm the older that I get, the more that I'm realizing that the notion of right or wrong is like completely subjective.
It really
is. And you know, I feel like, you know, like the older that I get, the more that I'm recognizing that people just have to do for them what works for them. I think where I take issue is when what you're doing for you, you're forcing on me. That's the thing, you know. So like if an independent network says we are not going to show this TV show for whatever reason, you know, that's their prerogative. You can buy the DVDs, you can, you know, you can stream it on if you want to watch it, you can do it. You know, but the notion that they can't show this, there are hundreds, if not thousands of people that have worked on the Cosby Show outside of Bill Cosby, whose talents, creativity, artistry, etc. Everyone from the person that's plugging into the lights, to the people that are acting on stage, to the people behind the scenes that are writing the script and editing. You know, like
so those royalties to this day.
Exactly. So you know, like the idea that of is it right or is it wrong? I'm finding that I'm phasing that out of my vocabulary as much as I used to use it. I'm trying not to use it as much anymore, because it becomes a thing as to whether or not I want to participate in it or not, but not force someone else to make that decision. Now on to the petty. Is it just me, or does Bill Cosby's lawyer look like Bill Cosby ain't paying him enough?
Oh Lord!
Because I'm like,
this lawyer.
Let me go ahead.
I mean, His lawyer looked like one of them people. His lawyer looks like, you know, that, I don't know if you know this commercial. There was this commercial somewhere out of like Louisiana, and it's like, what is it? It's a little it's a skit where he's in a chicken suit and he's like saying,
is it this black
chicken
man?
and waffle? Yes, with the face that looks like chicken grease.
Oh, I'm done with you, Dawon.
Now, with all the
It's
money,
so true though. It's so true.
think about it though. Think about it though. Like, I don't care how smart you are. Think about the optics. This dude don't look like he has a law anything. He might be
his haircut crispy though.
Crispy.
Well,
the Crisco is there, honey.
It's like, I don't know, like optics to me, like I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, if heaven forbid I'm ever in a situation where I'm fortunate enough that I have a legal team, but unfortunate enough that I'm being litigated against.
That right.
I just want to make sure my legal team can not only have the competence to get me off, because I'm going to be paying them a lot of money if I have it, but then I want y'all to look good. Like, don't be showing up looking all, you know, like the deaconess of the Tabernacle Church on the side of the road with the snakes and the hills and the Jesus Christ of Thursdays. Like, no. I need. We gonna show up in time for it. Come on now.
Not looking like the shady deacon though.
Not the shady deacon. But hey, he must. But here's the thing though. Bill is out back in PA eating pudding pops, so he must be good. He must be good.
I know this guy's billables just went up.
That part
for the criminal set.
And I want him on my team. Shit.
And you know there are lawyers that are in it for the game. They go for shit like this, where the thrill of the fight for something like this, it's not necessarily about the moral part, but oh my God, this is Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
I'm going to represent him regardless of whatever I'm getting paid. He's probably getting paid gobs of money, but it's very possible. He's like, you know what? This gets my name out there, that if I can get Bill Cosby off, no pun intended, then...
Oh, damn.
I can't with you.
Oh my God.
If I can get the charges dismissed against Bill Cosby, then I can do anything.
Yeah.
Give me somebody like Johnny Cochran. I want somebody who, if the glove don't fit, you gotta quit. You got to quit.
You know what though? Us as black people, we just damn good. We are just damn good. Like, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Come the fuck on,
And it became
Johnny.
part of the vernacular of the United States of America.
To this day.
Yeah.
Bars. He was dropping bars.
Right, and got him off.
Girl. And so then, like, so we had that all going on. We have FreeBritney going on, even though I'm not like the biggest Britney fan. But then just to hear her testimony, I'm like, dear Jesus, like, where's that line as, okay, say she does have mental health issues. Where's that line though? Like, where does it stop being helpful and it starts being literally, she's like a damn slave at this point, and literally having an IUD in her body that she doesn't want. And, you know, I'm like, damn, this is crazy.
Here's my thought on this. So it's, since we are not privy to behind the scenes conversations, we don't really know what Britney's real situation is.
Yeah.
And if I just take, like, at first I was kind of like, okay, just let the girl, you know, like, have her life. You know, why does she need a guardian at the age 42? Come on now, like, or whatever she is.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, what we don't know is there suicidal thoughts that are happening? Is there manic depression that leads to suicidal tendencies that are going, like, are there things that are going on behind the scenes that, you know, that make her a danger? And the reason why I even say this, because I'm not like a big Britney stan or whatever. I'm not, it's not that I'm not, but it's just, I'm just not. Is that for the judge to say, we are going to keep the conservatorship in the father's hands, even if they versus somebody else, even if it wasn't her. Like, to me, that says that actually what he's doing as the conservatorship of that estate has to be
there must be more pros than cons at this point. Right.
It has to be effective,
Yeah.
For the benefit of her well-being. Forget about the businesses and all that kind of bullshit. If there was an alternative, say, oh, well, instead of the conservatorship going to me as Britney, who is under scrutiny, I want it to be changed from this person to that person, or from this entity to that entity. And they still stayed with the father, then I have to kind of wonder, like, okay, well, there's what else is going on, that would make me pause for, like, well, is there some shady shit going on down there? But outside of that, it's on the surface, you just never know what's going on behind closed doors.
No, that's a true statement.
Yeah. When you think about our free will, like we're on this show, we go about our daily lives. I think about the fact that it's almost impossible for her to do that. I think about the fact that she is can you imagine being just controlled by someone? And I just cannot fathom that. Like, think about the last 2 albums that she's put out. Was that by force? So there are those questions out there that make me wonder, like, WTF is going on? And not that it's hard to take a side when you don't know all the facts, especially when something as ambiguous as this. But when it comes down to Britney, I'm just like, okay, so you've put out 2 albums since, let's say 2011, 2010, at least 2 albums. Did someone force her to do that? Did someone force her to do those vocals? Why? So those are the questions that I would be asking.
Yeah, because, like, especially, like, the whole conservatorship seemingly, at least the beginning, was because she was so famous that, like, paparazzi was going crazy. It was affecting her mental, affecting her family, her kids, et cetera, et cetera. So almost along that point, it's just like, should she be put music out? If the conservatorship is to put her in the best light possible, or the best well-being possible for life, not showbiz, fuck an album, fuck a tour, fuck the Vegas shit. Like,
right.
Was that her wanting to do it, like you were saying, or the conservatorship making her do it because they wanted her to keep her busy or something like that? Right. And that, to me, would or exactly. So to me, that seems like maybe it's not the best interest, because if it's solely for life, fuck the money, fuck everything, move your ass back to Louisiana. Let's chill in this little 2-bedroom house, so you could live and be mentally free and things like that. So I don't know where that line is of who's doing who. And obviously she clearly liked it for a while, maybe, of performing. So maybe some of it is her wanting to still kind of do it, but maybe she's not doing it in the way she wants to do it. And they're doing it in a way of, let's still market her as bubblegum pop Britney, 16-year-old Britney, when she's a grown ass woman. And I don't know where that line is, because at the end of the day, if I had the means and capability to help a family member that needed help because of mental health issues, I would think I would want to. But yeah, I don't know. And like Dawon said, we don't know all the details. So it's just like, it's hard to speculate on something we just honestly don't know. But parts of it doesn't seem fair for her. And then parts of it doesn't seem healthy for her, but then parts of it might not be fair for the dad, because he's like, shit, I'm just trying to take care of my daughter, I think. And
because so 2 things. One, it makes you wonder what she does with the money that he gives her, because that may be part of the conversation. It's like,
and they buying hair extensions, because who's ever doing her hair right now, girl?
Oh, it's honey, it's
girl.
Petty.
Jesus.
I love it. But then the other thing is that if she don't like it, then what's the consequence? Like, if she doesn't like how she's being managed, at least the career part of her life is managed. What is the consequence? Like, if you don't show up, what can they do? Yeah. They can throw you into an insane asylum, but then guess what? If they do that, then that's going to put more scrutiny on
her.
It's going to put more scrutiny on the situation. Like, oh, well, then are they really doing this for the real deal? So it just makes me wonder, like, if she doesn't like what's going on, like, let's take the money out of it.
Yeah.
Take the money part out of it. If she doesn't like what's going on, you know, as it relates to her body, nobody can make you sing, nobody can make you dance, nobody can make you look, you can show up and just sit on the stage and let everybody look what Mariah Carey does. Look what Mariah Carey. She don't dance. She don't dance. And half of the time she'll be lip syncing, but she's standing right there on the middle of the stage like this statue. Wait, I'm sorry, like this. Give me your love. Give me your love.
Giving that whole face, giving that same face.
So, you know, like what are the consequences of her, you know, not doing the things that the conservatorship outside of money related issues? Because if this is really about money, then that can be a completely different thing. The way that she could have Michael Jackson complex. You know, Michael Jackson was just walking into Luxor buying up mummies and shit, you know, like just
climb trees.
Right.
But I mean, here's a sad thing though. Say she does that, they throw her in the mental insane asylum. That's the old terminology, but
mental health facilities. But you know, the media is going to be like, oh, Britney's relapsed. Britney, like, it's not going to be like, it literally couldn't be true. It literally could be like her dad and whomever's the conservatorship could do that shit.
Yep.
No, the narrative's not going to be about the dad. It's going to be like, oh, damn, maybe it is true. Maybe she does need that help because she's back in this. You know, it's almost a lose-lose situation. And part of me is just like, if I'm there's laws and things, so I can't say as a judge, but as a person, I'd be like, let her live on her own for a year. What can happen? Let her blow the money. Who cares? Let her get pregnant again. Who cares?
That's what food stamps are for. Girl, if you blow all your money and you ain't got nothing, get the food stamps, girl.
I know a whole bunch of people who are on EBT right now who will be mad as fuck that Britney fucking Spears be on that shit too.
She said, give me more. Give me more. more.
But you know, when I thought about the whole conservatorship thing, I was like, okay, I knew she was crazy back in 2007. Remember that when she shaved her head and you know, all of that. And then when this whole thing, I was like, is she still crazy? Is that what the issue is? Is that same behavior still happening? Or is this just a matter of, oh, we're scared to kind of let her be on her own because she might relapse? You can't control people forever like that.
No.
Like, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
I low-key kind of feel like in 10 years, we're going to be looking back on this whole situation like, y'all believe we was talking about this kind of bullshit?
I'm like, free Janet, damn it.
Right.
Free Janet, damn it. That's what I want. Free Janet. Let that titty go.
Yes.
Oh, man. So then what else? Like, what else happened this week? Okay, so then let's fast forward even more in the week. This has been a crazy-ass week. So then we get Edward, whatever his damn name is, Clangy Martin or something like Matthews, some other white boy in Jersey who's been harassing black people for years, it sounds like now. And it just caught the right person to film it. And he was calling them all the N-word and stuff like that, told the cop to do what up. He's like, pull up. And guess what we did?
Pull the fuck up.
He had been doing this for years, and he finally just messed with the wrong person. The wrong bitch.
But also, I also feel like for the last 2.5 years, leading up to the Black Lives Matter movement, the Black community has been getting back in touch with our activism side. You know, we got away from it, you know, from like the 60s and the 70s and whatnot. And, you know, fell into rioting for like the last 20 years because, you know, Rodney King and, you know, all that shit. But, you know, we caught that activism bug. And we know now that shit works.
And the power of social media doing it too.
Yeah.
Because
even at the cameras.
Right. Yep. And at the bare minimum, sometimes it just be feeling like almost like a party. So, you know, you get that fear of missing out. But like, oh shit, they down there at the crib. Oh, hold on. You see them? Yeah. Hold on, let's pull up right quick.
Yeah.
And hey, so be it. Be it. So
I think there's a generation, going back to what Dawon said, I think there's a generation that didn't know what activism looked like, what that meant, and how you could make an impact with that. And when people look at the last couple of years, especially last year, people, whether they're Black or not, different races, colors, whatever, now know what activism can do and what it is. And it's
Somehow-
very go ahead.
Somehow we got the notion, like I just remember being in like the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, like we got the notion that like activism was corny. It was corny.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that notion came from, because there was a whole bunch of shit that we should have been fighting for. And we would have probably been a lot further along than where we are if we didn't give that up. But I feel like a lot of that idea, like, oh, well, what am I gonna do? Get some signs? Like downplaying the effect. It's almost like how we have been downplaying voting and the importance of voting. And how they fight so hard to restrict us from voting, and we buy into that bullshit. Oh, yeah, my votes don't count. Like we buy into that bullshit,
That it's not fly. It's not cool enough. It's not. Bitch, rock your Jordans, rock whatever you think is fly, and do that shit.
And go
whatever.
do it.
Because like, if you think one method is corny, okay, it might be corny to you. But there's some other method that you think is dope as hell that you thought of that you could do. It doesn't have to look one way. And I think that's the cool thing now, that it hasn't looked one way. It might be pulling up to this house.
You about to lose your job.
Right, yeah, right. Exactly.
You about to lose your job. Okay.
Exactly.
You about to lose your job.
Because you aren't paying me for nothing.
Yes.
And so it might be the one that's making the remix of that song, getting that out to make it sound lit for people to play at these riots and activist marches. And I don't know the right terminology, but utilize what you're good at to make a change is what I'm trying to say. It's just like, so if you think one way you don't feel like making a corny ass sign, don't make a corny ass sign, make a dope ass beat that we could rock to at these events. Make a dope ass t-shirt, make a dope ass sneaker, whatever it may be. There are means to do it. If you're good at social media, make that shit look dope. Get that shit out there, because as you saw, as quick as that video, literally that video went viral that morning, they pulled up like an hour later and it grew and got that.
And the killer part about it was the police were there the first time. The police were there the first time. It was like two, I think it was two police officers in one vehicle and whatnot. They pulled up to assess the situation. And the dude was like acting hype. Like if you watch the whole video, the dude was acting hype, even with the police officer right there. So they had the community had to pull up.
Here's the crazy thing too, like to me, is at first it seemed like as the crowds grew, they were protecting him. They were guarding his house at first, but then it got so big and they realized, hold on. And I was surprised to see his mugshot come out. Honestly, I told Corey, I was like, I guarantee you, and it's sad to think this way, that they're just getting him out of the house for the meantime because A, they didn't feel like staying there all day. And then B, we'll just come and find out that he was never really arrested. They're holding him at some place. Luckily, the mugshot came out. We'll see if he gets charged and convicted and things like that.
He was charged with racial intimidation and harassment is what the official charge was. And that's felonious. Yes. So that has a felony attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I remember the story correctly, he got rearrested because they viewed the full video, and saw him push someone and arrested him for assault. So I think he was, I think he actually, he was brought in, held, given a summons or some shit like that. And then when they saw the entire video, the police chief was like, oh no, like he's actually assaulted someone. So now we're arresting someone for assaulting them and not the racial part. We didn't arrest them. We gave them a summons for that.
Look, New Jersey ain't known for being, the city of brotherly love for the brothers.
No.
Just putting it out there. But y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn. Because if we gotta show up and picket, we will show up and picket. But if we gotta show up and burn shit down, we will do that too.
Get ready. Get your homeowners.
What you want to do?
What you want to do?
Which black group you want? Because it's gonna be one or the other.
That part.
How black am I gonna have to get? Have to get?
Right, people like you going to work tomorrow? Nah, girl, I'm about to go protest. Like,
period.
Yes.
And let your employer say anything. Your employer won't say nothing about you going to protest something black.
Not today.
They're like, you're going to do Black Lives Matter.
Yes. Go.
Then another
if you
story.
need any more PTO time, feel free to use it.
And then we can't even watch like
sick
that.
Day.
Right. Stacy, you have PTO that you can utilize for that day. Thank you.
You can use a sick day only if you're really sick. But
it's like,
I better
not see you go viral on TikTok, girl. I better not.
I bet not.
I bet not. But then you can't even watch the damn NBA finals without some race shit, because Rachel Nichols talking about old girl behind her back, saying the only reason why she's doing all the commentating in the finals is because ESPN is having a diversity problem, so they aren't going to let the black girl do it. Fuck you, Rachel Nichols. That's why your ass ain't in the finals this year again. How about that?
That part.
Well, and the crazy thing is, I liked Rachel Nichols for all these years. I was like, oh, you know what? Nothing's ever come out on her. You know, she's really like good at interviewing.
Give it time.
It's like, damn.
This is just another example of white people. Just gonna put it out there. You know, I'm just gonna put it out there in the media, in journalism, just trying to erase Black presence. I don't know if you all remember this, but back in 2012, Sue Simmons, she was an NBC anchor woman, and she had been there for a million years, and they decided, just randomly not to renew her contract when she was the only Black anchor in all of New York City at the time. So it's kind of like, okay, so like we have that presence, and it's continuously kind of pushed away. And so now we've got this chick. I don't even watch basketball, so the fact that I even knew about this, I was like, who is this bitch? This bitch comes over here and she's saying all that she's saying. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, like, can we receive our representation without necessarily having to have these feelings and these notions of we just got it because we're Black?
Exactly.
Hey, maybe, oh my God, maybe
I'm
we're talented. Maybe we're talented. Oh my God, maybe we're actually fucking good. Yeah. Maybe she's good at her job. Oh my God. Literally,
and not to compare to this, but like literally, that's the conversation I have more times than not when folks found out I got a full ride scholarship to school. First is they'll ask me, what sport? And I always say, well, thank you for thinking I have the body type to play a collegiate sport. Thank you. But actually it was for education. I might be smart. And then B, they always find a way to tie it into like maybe affirmative action and things like that. And I'm like, can I just not be a smart person that busted his ass in school to get good grades, to get this money? Like that never crosses your mind. Like that has to be like the third or fourth option. And there's like, and I have to point this shit out to you.
Look, their brain has to like squeeze through all the racism to get to that. It's hard to get them thoughts to squeeze through those synapses and that's filled with all the callous racism that's around them.
And it's so wild. So you nailed it, Landon, because she literally couldn't even just fathom that someone might be a little better than her to get that job that year.
Yeah.
Bust your ass a little more next year to get your spot back, man.
Yeah,
you know.
And obviously, you're not good enough, sis.
Look what happened in North Carolina, right? With Hannah, what's her name? Nicole Hannah Jones. You guys heard about that? She was denied.
The professor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
She denied tenure for her role as provost. I think that's what it was. Provost for that area. And of the 90 some odd other people that held that position, all of them were white men. None of them have had their tenure denied as part of it. Yep. You know, so it's just like, you know, there are certain things that are overt racism, you know, and overt discrimination. And there are some things that like white people have a tendency to turn a blind eye towards the inequities that exist that are disproportionately affecting our people.
Right.
And then want to make you run through a whole bunch of hoops. So I love the fact that she made them sweat it out and they came back with the last minute deal. And she said, no,
you know what?
So.
I'm taking my talents.
I'm going to go to Howard.
It's like, I'm taking my talents elsewhere. Thank you.
She grabbed her mink stole, wrapped it around her neck,
that part.
and walked out.
That part.
Maybe she can go teach Phylicia some sense.
Ooh, damn. It's like, Phylicia, let me sit you down right quick. Sit
your ass right down.
I honestly believe that was a senior moment. That was a senior moment. That was like one of those moments where, like, you know, you could see some grandmothers be like, I'm so glad my baby got out of jail. You know, and not, you know, just like not caring the fact that he was in jail for murdering 18 people and eating their eyeballs. I'm just so glad my baby out of jail. He was just rotting in there. You know what I mean? Like,
that's literally what it was.
Not the eyeballs, though. I mean, you know.
And like literally the tweet was like 7 words. So like it wasn't further elaborated. And that was the struggle. It's just like, when I read it, I was like, oh, this is not going to go over well.
Not good.
It's like, I get what she's trying to get to, but you got to further elaborate that thing because it's sexual victims at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, that's horrible. And so.
Okay, and you can't even retry him, but okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we got to get to PV, but can we do this Ask Your Aunties?
Absolutely.
I'm dying for this conversation.
Let's do it.
There we go.
What time is it?
Ask your Aunties. All right. This is mine. I'm gonna own it. I wasn't sure I was gonna say it, but the cat is out of the bag, Meadow. Hey, Auntie. So I stumbled upon a friend's burner XXX Twitter account the other day, and it got me thinking. If you stumble on a friend's XXX Twitter account or their OnlyFans, and they don't advertise it like that, do you click follow and subscribe?
Hell yeah.
Shut up. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean, stumble. Okay, elaborate on the stumble. How do you stumble?
Here's the conundrum for me, in my opinion. Like, we all have people that everybody has people that they're friends with, right? And some of your friends may have hoe-ish tendencies. And some of those friends may be sexually...
Hoes are my friends. Hoes are my enemies.
You know, like sexually open to whatever. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But however, if you have a friend, a confidant, a Judy, that y'all don't talk like that, y'all don't have that y'all don't be going to the bathhouses together. Y'all don't be sharing each other's dick pics, and you don't
right,
because we have those friends.
Yeah,
those friends, and then you have your.
I mean,
y'all do. I don't.
I can't.
I mean, not the who said that? Who said that? Out of the three of us, come on now. I mean, like they call me Auntie Chardonnay, but you might. I'm just like so. No.
Martini.
No, so like. Not to shade any of that behavior, because I like if you like it, I love it. So do you, and like be proud of what your stuff is. But we all know about the burner account. The burner account is like when you go onto Twitter, you don't post anything of yourself. You just go in there to look at the porn. You know, you have your regular Twitter account for like the regular stuff, for the stuff that you post, and then you have your burner because they be showing.
So you can like the nastiness,
right? So, and not have your auntie and your cousin look at you all cockeyed or whatever about the stuff that, somebody getting plowed or whatever. So in my mind, there is a very distinct difference between the people within your circle that, that you're sexually open with,
right,
in whatever way that means. And then your other friends that you're not. So if you have a friend that is not, and then you stumble upon their burner Twitter account where they showing they nasties, their goodies, but the only way you can see that is if you click follow, and then when you click follow, they now know that know that they shit is out there, and you looking at all them their goodies. So
I create another burner account.
That's what I'm about to say. I'm about to say that means your burner account ain't good enough because they can track who it is. Because if your burner account's good enough, they don't know that's you. Yup. Follow.
She gonna follow.
Even if it's on that private too. Like request it.
Right.
It's gonna be Auntie Jerrell. That's the burner.
Right. It's like
I'm
gonna put y'all
see
name.
these goodies.
I'm gonna put y'all name as my burner.
Oh my God.
Like why Auntie Sha trying to see me? I mean, here's the thing. If they put it out there, that means they're at least okay for people to see it, even if it happens to be someone they potentially may know. Mm-hmm. Or they either put it on private or they wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. And I mean, like, I have stumbled across, like, not like close friends, but like people I know of. Like, I'm like, oh, damn. Oh, shit.
They're putting it out like that.
Like, I won't say who it is, but I texted one time to Dawon and Jerrell. I'm like, I literally just stumbled across. I can't even say it because I can't even say the connection.
I know, boo. I know who it is.
But I was like, oh my God, they used to do porn. Like, it was like full-on studio porn. And I was like, oh my God. Like, so it hasn't changed the relationship.
And she watched all of it, y'all.
I watched a couple because I was just like, oh my God.
She got the popcorn. She got that popcorn and said, pull up.
Fuck the popcorn. I got the lube out. Shit. No, I'm just saying. Got the lotion out.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
And then ate some popcorn after because I was hungry or some shit. But
and side note, community, if any of y'all have any kind of accounts that you want to share with us, please
let us know.
Hit us up
because we will follow.
Listen, I'm petty. I love receipts, so I'll screenshot that shit.
You know it's the wrong one. I know. Later will screenshot and send it to your ass like, bitch, look what I found. I found you.
Look what I right?
Not the screenshot.
I love me some receipts.
That's sacrilege.
But you know what? I think another question that has to go along with what you asked Dawon is, and depending upon if it's private or not, how would that friend feel about being connected like that? And will that have an effect on your friendship? Is this going to be a thing where we just kind of, you know that I know, we both know, but we're not going to talk about that? We both know that we're connected. Or do you openly talk about it? So I think it just depends on the person. If they got their stuff
the dynamics
out there,
of you seeing, and then the dynamics of you seeing all their stuff, and like, okay, well, when am I going to see yours?
You're never going to see mine unless you put a five. No, never mind. That's the question to ask of how is your dynamic, and is that gonna affect your dynamic? Is that gonna affect your friendship when they see that follow and they're like, ooh, I didn't mean for that person to find that.
So so then I'll pose the question to you all. If, Rel, Landy, if you all had a personally sexually explicit account for whatever purpose, but nobody else knows about it, so you're not advertising it, it's on the DL,
right?
And you got your goodies all out there, and then here comes Auntie Sha doing her investigation,
or Auntie Jerrell,
and then stumble upon yours. How would you feel about the relationship within that context?
Honestly, I don't know if I would care. Like, for me personally,
yeah,
if it was set on public, because I know there's going to potentially be that risk or opportunity that someone I would know would see it. And that's probably Kerel older talking too, because even like now putting like how this conversation posted, I posted my butt pic on IG, which I don't think my husband, based on these texts I see coming through during this episode, is too happy right now. My bad, boo. But hey, flaunt it while you got it. It is what it is. It's all yours. You married it. So
and the cakes were firm.
Thank you, honey.
Yes.
So we'll see after this episode. I might have a story for next episode. Damn.
Look, but it might be that picture might be down by the time this episode.
It might be. We'll
so you snooze, you lose.
Dear God. So that might be the next Ask Your Auntie question. But I feel like there's always that opportunity, that risk, or that potential for someone I know, even if it's as close as your parent or someone, to stumble upon it. And I think maybe some people probably do it because there's probably some thrill of that as well. I'll be like, oh, you know, that'd be kind of dope if someone found out, you know? So there might even be a whole kind of fetish or some kind of thing behind it that ultimately they're okay with that for that person. I don't think I would care too much. It'd be maybe a little awkward, but like, okay, girl, you don't gotta talk to me every day about this damn what I posted. Like, okay, it's like I know you watching it, so right. It's like, okay,
I don't need the play-by-play.
Right, exactly. It's like I was there. I posted it. I know what I did.
The killer part is done. I was there.
Look, the killer part is every time you post, then a friend like me will be liking that shit, so you know I saw it.
Oh, I don't need the review.
It'd be like, did I do good? Did I do good, girl? Did I do good? So yeah, I don't know.
What do you think,
First of all, we all know I've been on the front of manhunt.net, so my shit has been out there.
Listen to this soft flex. Right. we all know.
It's out there. You've talked about it. So if it's out there, it's out there. Like if you put it out there, you run the risk of it being seen. You run the risk of pulling a me and creating another burner account and then following it. Like there's an opportunity.
Wait, you followed your burner? What you followed?
No, I meant as in like if you had a burner account, I would create another burner account and follow yours. That's some shit I would do. Yeah. Someone could do that to me. And so you run the risk of your shit just being out there. So it is what it is. Like you run that risk when it's almost like when you become a celebrity, like that notoriety, that level that you've put yourself on you run the risk of being found and explored and reviewed and critiqued.
Now, let me ask this question.
Oh, here we go.
If you did,
oh Lord,
if you did become a celebrity, what would your risk factor be?
Well, like on a scale of 1 to 10?
Scale of 1. Let's use the old one from 0 to 100. What would your risk factor be from a sluttiness standpoint that your career would be ended by your online activities?
Oh, 70.
Oh, damn. Yours is that high? Oh, so that means Landon got a nasty burner that we need to find, Dawon. That's what that means. That's a good question. Mine wouldn't be that high. Like literally the worst I think I've ever, well, maybe my old like Scruff and Grinder and all those days. I'm sure somebody got some screen caps.
See? Like somebody got some screenshots.
Back in them single days, people ask you for any kind of like
girl.
They have requests. Let's put it that way.
So maybe, let me.
Can I see you sitting naked eating a banana?
Right. Like what?
Like weird.
I mean, at this point, all I put is maybe a random butt out there, and that's about it. So mine wouldn't be that high. And even on my burner, I don't post anything of me. Mine is just solely to look at the porn, and y'all don't judge the likes.
Same.
Wait, I literally just said that myself. So Kerel's got a burner account?
Oh, I've said it on here many times.
Okay, so I might need to put that on my to-do list later today.
You'll never find it. You'll never find it.
You know I'm a journalism major. I'll find out.
She gonna put it up here like in 10 minutes. Like, see, bitch, that's you. But yeah, I got the burner.
Like some nasty shit.
I got my regular one. Like I forget even what mine is. I might change it to I Am Kerel, and then the Minority Report one, and that's the 3. So, but sometimes it'd be like I gotta make sure I'm on the right one.
You on the right one?
That part.
It usually is easy with the Minority Report because nothing really pops up on there. But between like the Kerel one and then the burner one, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, oh wait, hold on, let me go back. Unlike.
I'm really surprised at like on my regular like Twitter account how much porn there is on that, and it's not because I'm following people that that are doing it. It's because I'm following people that are liking and retweeting the stuff. So I'll be like scrolling through, checking out the news, and be like, oh, that's what we're doing this morning. Okay.
and then you get sidetracked. You're like, okay, well, let me look real quick.
And you know, there is a setting to turn off sensitive content, and I haven't turned it off yet. So, you know, it don't bother me that much. I mean, look, if she worked from home, she can watch whatever she wants. So it really was only an issue when we were going to the office.
That part.
Dawon, what would be your score?
That's a good question.
That my career would be ended because of some online activities. I would say my score would be really, really low.
Yeah.
Because I own all my shit. So I'd be like, you gonna see some stuff. There might be like 50 people out there that got some videos from me back in the day. Who knows? And you know what? Let it fly. If they want to,
because I want that body back. I'm talking about the butt pic I have today. Shit, I want the butt pic I had like 10 years ago. Shit. That's what I want. And then I would 45, but like I'm glad I tweeted or posted that at 37 because it might not be what it was at 37.
Like if I had, however, like if it were me that had a burner account posting stuff, then I would feel weird about somebody that I knew linking up with me, you know, on that. I would feel weird about it, just personally.
So you feel weird that way, but you don't feel weird following?
No.
Okay. No, it's just interesting.
Well, let me take that back because I did feel weird. I do feel weird following because now and that's the whole reason why I asked the question. It's like, will this change the dynamic of the relationship?
Yeah.
You know, so I
don't
know.
I don't know which way I would feel more weird on. I think I'd probably feel more weird. I think I'd feel more weird if I followed and they found out more than if I followed and just be like, hey, girl, I followed you and just got it out there. And it is what it is. Because the second they found out, like, girl, how long have you been following it? Like, now that feels a little more creepy and a little more, you know. And then if I found out, like, one of you two were following me on the bird, I'm like, oh, damn, that's crazy. That's weird. But it is what it is.
Get ready to
look.
Get ready for the next show.
Airs, like after this episode airs, there's going to be a whole bunch of new connection requests.
Like we said, if you got a good burner, let us know. Or even if it's not a burner, if it's your main, let us know.
Right,
We'll follow.
Yes.
Can y'all share that with me? Make sure y'all post that because I'm gonna need that.
Absolutely.
Get your followers up.
That part. And continue to send your Ask Your Aunties questions at aya@minoriteareport.com or DM us. We got a couple of new ones in this week. So thank you. Continue to send those in. And but yeah, so you asked me about PV. PV was great. I mean, it's one of my favorite places to visit now.
Yeah.
I'm slowly falling in love with it. Just because, like, it's gay as shit. It's gay as like, and so that part of you're just like, okay, I don't have to worry about. Even though I don't really worry, I don't think about it as much as maybe Corey does. But just like walking down the street holding hands and things like that. We stayed at the Elmar, which is like an LGBTQ. They say luxury resort. Actually, it's nice. It's pretty nice. How
does it compare to the place like your wedding was at? Yeah.
Secrets is still nicer just because that's definitely like that's their clientele and it's all inclusive. So Elmar isn't all inclusive, but it's way better than I thought it was gonna be. Like, okay, sometimes you think of like gay resorts and you're like, it's gonna just be so like nasty and cheap and seedy. Which, like, I mean, everyone likes a little seedy mode, but like, it's not that. It's not that at all. Especially because it's connected to Manamar, which is like the big beach.
Oh, okay.
The beach clubhouse there in PV that everyone goes to. So
Love that.
Oh. And it's like, I love Manamar, but we all know what Manamar can be sometimes. And so I was like, I don't know. Especially Corey was just like, I can't believe you got me going to this gay resort, And he was even like, oh no, this is way better than I thought it was going to be. This is way nicer than I thought it was going to be. The only thing he wished it was all inclusive because there's just an ease that comes along with not having to think about what you want to drink and how much it costs and what food you want. Even though the food and everything was great there, it is a little expensive once you start paying for drinks all day and food all day and things like that. But it's like right there close to like a lot of the gay stores and bars, so you can walk to it. The weather turned out to be way nicer than I thought because it's rainy season, and heading into it, it said like 90% rain every day. And I was like, fuck, it's just going to rain the entire time. Some days it didn't end up raining at all. And so they just can't really predict how and where it's going to rain. And yes, it might be.
And sometimes you get those those like afternoon showers where like it comes down and then it's like for like 20 minutes and then it's clear for the rest of the day.
So most days was similar to that, where like you knew there was going to be maybe a shower at some point. But by that point, you're like, okay, nap time before dinner. Then I got to see Jerrell in person for the first time in like fucking forever. So that was awesome. We're like, So
how long has it been? How long has it been, really? Since
I think the Dallas trip of 2019.
2019?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously, like, I see him in Zoom like this. But,
right. But still, when you hug and actually got to see each other, that's nice.
And so that was the good. I got food poisoning though we did a boat tour. Like that's where I took the butt pic, was like, it's a nude beach. And I should have known better. And I normally don't eat this stuff, but they had like ceviche and stuff. And ceviche on the beach, I should have known better. And so literally the day that we were going to hang out all day with like Jerrell and his friends, I was hurting so bad. My stomach still is kind of uneasy. But so I was just like, I felt bad. I was like, I didn't even drink that day. I was just like, hey girl, I'll see you. But like, luckily it was like the busiest of the day was 4th of July that day. So he was distracted by everybody else and all his friends. So I was like, okay, good. I don't feel too bad that I didn't get to spend as much time as I wanted that day with them. But yeah, no, it was a blast. It was good to go. PV, even Corey loves PV. And I think it'll definitely be one of those places where it's just like, where do you want to go real quick? Oh, let's go to PV. And it's kind of become that kind of destination for us. So
I wish that they had direct flights from New York, but they don't.
Yeah.
They
They don't at all.
Wow.
They have very few from Atlanta. We actually got one this time, but the last 2 times we had to connect through Houston and Mexico City.
Did you fly?
We flew Delta the last 2 times. And the first time we did Southwest because it was a wedding, so we had a bunch of bags, so I was able to get the bags and fly free. So yeah, the last time we connected to Houston and Mexico City, but this time was luckily direct, which was great because it was only like 3 hours, 3:15. Get in, get out, Carl.
Because y'all there are direct flights. There are direct flights from Chicago, but and there's some from Atlanta, a whole bunch from Texas, obviously, in Florida, but like from New York, no. Not at all. So that it's just like, and actually I was planning on going for this weekend and like, oh, this would be a lot of fun and da 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 da. And I was just like, connection flight. I'll just upgrade my other vacation.
Ooh, that's such a first world problem. I love it. I don't do that connection shit.
Well, I think from a realistic perspective, like, there are so many things that can go wrong with flights that you just open yourself up to a whole bunch of risks. Like if you're going somewhere for like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and you have a connecting flight and you miss that connecting flight, you will miss out on a day and a half.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
So it's like true. you run that risk, and it's like I'm done doing it. I'm done playing that. I know. I'll look at y'all pictures online.
I know, that's right. Were you about to ask, Landon? Look like you're about to ask.
I was about to say, when it comes down to when I went to your wedding, I had to connect through Salt Lake City. Actually, there were no. I was like, why am I going from? Because I went from, this is 2019, so this is New York. I went from New York to Salt Lake City to PV, and I'm like, why am I doing this? There was no other way that wasn't,
way out the way.
Way out. It was worth it though. It was worth it.
It was fun.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Ow.
But yeah, it depends on what airline you fly when it comes to things like that. Like if you're going to Mexico, some place like that, it really does depend on what airline you fly, especially like when you go to Europe. So I don't blame you, Dawon, when it comes to like the all connection piece. And if you do have to connect, Like, don't do nobody's spirit. Don't do that. It's not true. It's not. Don't do it.
We did.
Please
when we went down
it.
there for the wedding, we flew JetBlue down to Mexico City, and then we hopped on a puddle jumper, Aero Mexico, to PV, and it was not ideal, just because, you know, just the transition between the airlines and all that stuff. Like, no. Maybe one of these days they'll come up with a direct flight from New York, or I could work it in with like, oh, well, then I'll just fly to Chicago, stay in Chicago for a couple of days, and then fly direct from there. You know, like, make it easy that way.
Yeah, no, it was cool. Like, we made some new friends that were like at the resort there, that like a friend named Greg, and we'll see if they listen. Like, I was saying, hey, listen to Minority Report and things like that. And actually, one of the guys asked a cool question, or a thought-provoking question, because, and maybe I'll pose it today, and maybe we'll get Jerrell's thought on it next week, because he asked, because I was just describing what Minority Report is and was, and he's like, just as a Black man, do you feel safer here in PV than you do in the US? And I was like, damn. I was like, that's a good ass question. I don't know how to answer that right now. And eventually, and maybe I'll pose that, and we'll let everyone kind of ponder on it, and see what the community says over the week. But I want to get Jerrell's perspective on it, because I know that's his first time in PV as well. And I've been there a few times. And I think, just like short story, there's aspects I feel safer there, and there's aspects I feel safer here. And I don't know which part of it. It might be the gay part of me feels a little safer in PV, and maybe the Black. I don't know, because like, you still see like policemen with like assault rifles down there, and
legit, like MK-47s.
And like, you read some of the stories of people getting shaken down by police people, and so you kind of hear these stories on forums. You're like, damn, I don't know. Like, you don't want to walk by yourself because you are a foreigner in a foreign country. But there's other aspects, like I could get pulled over in the US and don't know what the shit is going to happen. So when he asked me like that, literally, it takes a lot for some questions for me to not have an immediate reaction. I didn't know how to immediately answer that question.
What did he say?
Well, he was a white guy. And so, so
he was like, asking, I'm fine.
Right, pretty
much. It's wonderful for me.
Well, he said that, and it was actually a good conversation. He lives in Hawaii now. He's a white guy, but living in Hawaii, a lot of the Hawaiians don't like white people because they're taking over the land there. Yeah. And so he's like, in a weird way, he's like, obviously it's not going to be compared to yours or anything like that. But he's like, in a weird way, I kind of now in my older age, because he's been there maybe the last decade, gets a kind of almost some kind of a racism, because like, he's like, white folks are more likely to get pulled over there than Hawaiians and things like that. And he's like, I see it. He's a realtor there. So he's like, I just see it just because I'm out and about in the community a lot. And he's like, it's just been interesting to get that kind of experience. Yeah. Because he's like, I hadn't had to deal with that shit until I literally moved there. And he's like, and a lot of the community sometimes are vocal about that. I don't like you. You're not from here. These aren't your lands. And all you're trying to do is take over our land. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, you guys are. He's like, yeah. And he's like, and they're actually true. He's like, the statement is valid. And I was like, yeah. And so I was like, that's an interesting perspective I would have never thought about outside of having this conversation with him. So community, like, we'll pose that to you right now, and then we'll have maybe even a deeper conversation when Jerrell gets back next week on it. And I think we have a guest on, so it'll be interesting to see if they have any things. But I guess, Landon, maybe we'll ask you before we hop out of here. You've been to PV. Do you feel safer there than in the US?
It's hard to say, because I only went that one time, you know, for your wedding. And I was surprised at the level of comfort that I felt us walking through the city when we were going from one place to another. I can't remember. I think we were going from the strip club.
We were
going from the strip club. And
where they were letting it all hang out.
Okay. And I think I was surprised at my level of comfort, because, you know, Mexico, there's a lot of, it's heavily predominantly Catholic. And so when it comes down to that part of, like, they obviously know we're not from here, probably can assume that. Then they see us all walking together. We're coming from this one place, going to this other gay bar. I'm thinking to myself, like, something could go wrong. But I was surprised at my level of comfort walking through the city and just feeling as if, like, I didn't really have anything to worry about. Yeah. That's how I felt. And want to go back because I was only there for, just a few days. Right. But would love to go back just to see maybe if that comfort is valid. Like, how is the gay scene, how is it to be a gay man in Mexico? Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So community ponder on that real quick. And should we do manager name game to end the episode? Do you want to get one in there?
We can do it.
Okay. So manager name game. And Landon, you know the manager name game. You probably heard the episodes, right? No?
No.
Long story short, I wore a nasty pig hat one time with a one-on-one with my manager, not even thinking about it because like I hadn't like combed my hair or anything like that morning. And she stopped in the middle of the one-on-one. She was like, "What is that hat you're wearing? Like what?" And I was like, "Oh, it's like a gay clothing line." But I didn't want to tell her that it was Nasty Pig. and she wouldn't drop it. So it was like funny when we told this episode, like the episode was Nasty Pig and Fubu is the name of the episode. So this might be 15 episodes ago at this point.
Okay.
And so since then, like Dawon and Jerrell were like, "Oh damn, she nosy as hell. Her name must be da 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 da." So they've been trying to guess her name all these weeks, and they might have guessed it already. They might not have, but each week, and we're gonna end it in the month of June, the end of July, and reveal my manager's name. So the manager name game was birthed from that. So you get the.
So I'm gonna say I don't think I've said Tracy, so I'm gonna say Tracy.
Okay, so Tracy. Why is my pen not working? There we go. Tracy. Okay. And Landon.
Do I get one entry or two?
I guess I'll give you two since you're
Thank
you.
Nicole.
Okay.
Sharon.
All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile all the names that we've said. So I'm going to name them all and see if the name actually popped up or if it didn't. So we'll see. But yeah, Landon, again, thank you, Miss Chocolate Martini.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast.
Thank you. Last minute thing, and you pulled through for us, and we appreciate that. And
yeah,
Jerrell,
no
get well soon, Jerrell. Obviously, we'll talk to you before this episode comes out, but get well so we have it on record, girl. And I think that's it. And wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.